Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia. Last time we saw a bunch of alien containers of some kind disguised as little metal pyramids.
Tetrahedron.
Enough, we're tired of that joke. Anyway, some kind of aliens live in these things, and when a human picks one up, the consciousness inside the object trades places with them. Skip is a boy in the town who hasn't been assimilated yet, and he just witnessed something he wasn't supposed to see. Diana didn't see him there. She has a conversation with one of the nearby horses.
That fast, huh? Well, you're gonna have to prove it.
Whoever put that horse in its stall while it was still wearing a bridle and bit needs to be fired. Skip is still going while Wonder Woman is going after his friend Pete, or whoever is in there now. Since she's on a horse and he's on foot, lassoing him isn't difficult.
I already know that you're from another world and that there are 99 of you. Why have you come here?
An enemy is hiding here.
What kind of enemy?
A murderer. 800 people on one planet alone died because of him.
He says this criminal is hiding on this planet and we can't return the souls of the people whose bodies we've borrowed until we've caught him. Once we have him, we'll gladly release your people and go home.
All right. Who is it that you're after? And whose body is he inhabiting? Answer me.
That's alien speak for we have no idea.
He's not like us. He can become whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Are you telling me that you're after someone who can disguise himself as anything? Or anyone? Well, how are you going to find him?
He's in danger as long as we're here. He'll find us.
She says, okay, I'll let you go. But tell everyone that Diana, Skip, and Cameron have been assimilated, so leave them alone. And by the way, this conversation never happened. Back at the stable with Skip, Diana doesn't trust the horses to be horses anymore. She and Skip head for his private hideout. How does she know Skip isn't the shapeshifter?
Time to flip the tape.
You've been recording all this?
Oh, it's my diary. Oh, it's better than writing things down where people can see it.
He has their whole conversation about the aliens on tape. That could prove interesting sometime in the future. I wonder how much the tabloids would pay for that tape. He wants to be a writer, but he doesn't think anything will ever come of it. Diana basically says, that right there is what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't expect it to happen, it won't. If you flip that around and expect it to happen and start doing what it takes to make it happen, guess what? He's off to a good start, reading tons of classics.
I sneaked him out of my dad's library. I don't want him to know. I let him and everyone else think I'm a dummy.
Why?
In case I never make something out of myself, I don't let anyone down. It's kind of like my secret identity, you know?
When I tried to do that, it was more to gain acceptance with the other dummies, which is to say the cool kids. Trouble was, my brain is a sponge. Even if I didn't study or tried not to pay attention in class, when it came test time, I knew the answers. And I couldn't bring myself to fail a test deliberately. So despite my best efforts, I got labeled the brain as if it was a bad thing. Skip wants to avoid that too, and I don't blame him. It gets lonely. Cameron has followed Pete to a barn where the aliens are gathering. A moment later, Pete has a nice lump on his head. The fake one moves inside. Pete either can't hit very hard or he has a really hard head. Maybe both. Either way, he didn't hit himself hard enough.
Only 4 more to be recovered. Pass the word to deliver them for assembly as soon as possible.
That's him! He's here spying on us!
Cameron turns into a Rottweiler long enough to make them all back off and escapes. Come again? There's 95 of you and 1 of him, and you don't think the lot of you can deal with 1 dog? I don't know if these things are interplanetary police or what, but they're kind of wimpy. They have, however, taken over the local phone system and are blocking all incoming and outgoing calls.
I still can't get through.
Seems like Crystal Lake is in the middle of the biggest communications breakdown in history. Two things that make me feel a whole lot better, Doctor. One of them is to find out that this communications snarl-up is just a coincidence.
It's no coincidence. It's an extremely well-calculated measure. A precaution against any outside interference.
The doctor knows everything about this situation, and he's still being as mysterious as possible.
Well, the second thing is to hear just what this is all about. Who doesn't want outside interference?
I can't say.
You mean you won't say? It's obvious you have the answers, but you're refusing to help Steve in any way.
You can't say. Well, I can't send in local authorities to help Diana without giving them a reason.
I can appreciate the awkwardness of your position, Colonel.
Well, I should hope so. You put me there.
But were I to tell you what I know, and were you to believe me, the chances are simply too great that the word would leak out to the general public.
That's his issue? Some bean counter might go to the Enquirer with the story? So what? If he knows why the aliens are here, presumably by the time the story hits the newsstands, they'll be done with their task and gone. So who cares?
But unfortunately, the bureaucrats that they put in office would no doubt find it politically expedient to do something about the situation, and the consequences of which would be catastrophic.
According to you.
Yes, according to me.
Okay, he's got us on the idiot bureaucrats, but not so much on the consequences, because he still won't give us any idea what we're talking about. If I'm Steve, I think it's about time to strap this guy down and give him some sodium pentothal. Then arrest him for obstructing your investigation.
You've been faking it too?
Long story. I've been spying on them, trying to figure out what they're up to.
Oh, man, it's so good to have someone to talk
Listen,
to.
they need those weird rocks for something. I don't know what for, but apparently they don't have all of them.
And they're not gonna get it either.
You've got one? Where?
She keeps pressing him to tell her where it is, but he's not catching the implications. They both leave just before the real Melanie, thoroughly aliened, comes walking by. Diana tried driving out of town to find a phone, but there are roadblocks everywhere. Nothing to do but head back to the motel and try to come up with a plan.
Not this time, you don't.
He jumps in a car and goes screaming down the road. For all the good it'll do him. We'll catch him and indulge in a little fan service for the pubescent boys of all ages in the audience. Now she knows for sure who it was. Elsewhere, Skip is making a big mistake.
There are only 4 more to be recovered. They must be brought to the old barn at County Line Road immediately.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Mel, we gotta arrange some place to talk, okay?
Look at her eyes, Skip. She isn't faking.
Drop the act, will you? Now, what's this about the old barn?
Skip is way too slow to see what's right in front of him.
Sonny.
Way too slow. Now they know he isn't one of them. Cameron appears at Diana's door. He's a bit parched, so he's fixing them both some water.
If I had known where you were staying, we could have gotten together to compare notes.
Well, that's right. I never told you, did I?
No, you didn't.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
She won't think to ask why he's so eager for her to drink that water until it's too late.
Sit down, Diana. Tell me what you've been doing.
I think that I would rather have you tell me why you just did that.
The world gets fuzzier and fuzzier as he tells her he's the guy the others are after. She says that still doesn't answer my question.
The tetrahedrons, when reassembled into the object you saw in the good doctor's sketches, can imprison him long enough to return him for sentencing. It is therefore in his best interest to prevent their reassembling. How?
By compelling our little friend, Skip, to relinquish the fragment that he has. Probably by now the only one they need.
He drugged her so he can impersonate her and get the pyramid from Skip. Were it not for the tyranny of runtime, he could have just said that. But there's more to it.
Oh yes, that was me this afternoon. Testing a little theory I've had ever since our first encounter in the garage concerning your true identity. Wonder Woman.
He knows. So now might be a good time to transform and shake off the effects of that drug.
It could be worse, Diana. I could kill you. But it would be so much easier if you simply forgot who you really are. That's the reason for the hypnotic drug, Diana.
The aliens are scouring the countryside looking for the last pyramid, which is in Skip's treehouse. Steve can't get in contact with Diana, and he's getting frantic. Dr. Jaffe wanders in without knocking.
I'm on my way to Crystal Lake. I thought I'd let you know.
Keep in touch.
If I hadn't distrusted my own findings, I wouldn't have... No.
I think they should have called this episode The Man Who Never Finished a Sentence. Steve says, I don't care why you made her go. Just bring her back. With a nice unspoken implication, or else.
Diana!
Oh, hi, Skip. Come on in. What you up to?
Oh, about 5'9". Listen, I've been spying on him out there.
5'9". That's cute.
Standard comeback line. Listen, it seems to me that they're building a pyramid thing out of those
I have
rocks.
to remember that one.
Diana, are you listening?
Not really, no. She's got other things on her mind.
Diana, what are you doing?
I'm packing. I gotta get back to Washington.
Well, you're leaving?
Yep, my boss called me and says I have to be back there tonight.
Your boss? Oh, I thought you couldn't get through to Washington.
I didn't. He got through to me.
And that doesn't seem odd to her, at least not yet.
Well, how could he? All the long-distance lines are screwed up. You told me so yourself.
Yeah, I distinctly remember talking to my boss on that phone.
She distinctly remembers, which means she's about to start questioning.
There's something the matter with you.
Thanks a lot.
Diana, you can't leave. You gotta stay here and help me. You're the only one who can get things back to normal. Diana, I know you're really...
But it's not Cameron at the door. It's Skip's dad.
Your mother's been worried sick.
Diana, it's a trick. I just saw him at the old barn where they're building that thing.
Well, Skip, is he your father or isn't he?
Well, yes, but... No, he's one of them.
He knows his dad's been taken and there's something weird happening with Diana, so he does the only thing he can do, run like his life depends on it, because it does. Just ask Pete and the other kid, because they're the ones who've been sent to do the deed.
End of the trail, Skip. It would have been so much easier if you'd cooperated. Now it's too late. You're about to meet with a tragic accident.
Oh, no, he's not.
You do something to me, you'll never complete that pyramid. That's right. I've got the 99th piece. Hidden. Where? First we play Let's Make a Deal, right?
I don't believe it. Skip thought on his feet. He's supposed to take 10 minutes to ponder things and slowly figure out what's going on, then come up with an idea way too late to do any good. We see the hypnosis in Diana's head start to unravel as she rolls over Skip's words. Skip himself is in his treehouse talking to his diary.
As for Diana, man, I don't know what happened to her. It's like all of a sudden she just turned off to everything that was going on here. Like she just didn't care. Well, anyway, she's probably gone by now, and, well, here I am. never been so alone in my life.
He puts the pyramid in his backpack and heads off for his rendezvous with Not Pete.
Oh, man, I never thought I'd see you again.
Well, I came for the rock that you have. I need to take it with me.
Oh, sure. Boy, am I glad to see you.
He starts talking about how strange she was acting at the motel and says, by the way, I know your secret, but it's safe with me. I won't tell anyone.
Skip, I wanted to tell you... Give me the rock, Skip. Wonder Woman. I had no idea you kept such company. Give me the rock, Skip.
It shouldn't be hard to figure out which one is a hostile alien and which one is an IADC agent who suddenly turned into a ditz.
Skip, what's wrong? Skip!
I can see Linda Carter during the initial read-through of this script. Skip, 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 skip.
Skip, what is the matter with you?
Well, I'm just going nuts, that's all. I mean, everything's upside down, backwards, not the way it's supposed to be, and no one's around to explain why.
Well, let me try to help.
I can get an army of bureaucrats in here to straighten this out just like that.
Well, you're the worst part, Diana. I mean, one day you come in here and you promise you can end this whole nightmare. The next day you act as if you don't even know what's happening. I mean, what are you trying to do to me?
Well, my boss said that there was nothing more to worry about.
And he would know this how? He would only know such a thing if you had told him, because you're the only one in a position to report anything that's happening here. I hope she stops to think that through.
Nothing to worry about. I mean, my best friend is out to get me. They're all out on a barn at County Line, putting those rocks together into something that's supposed to destroy somebody. You're getting long-distance calls on phones that don't work.
Skip, calm down.
And I just saw you and Wonder Woman at the same time. I saw you, Diana. I saw you change and chase after Pete. I know you're Wonder Woman.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Will you stop it, Diana? Will you stop it and leave me alone?
While the contradictions start to play hockey inside her head, Skip is keeping his end of the bargain.
I just get it all over with.
Why did he shoot in the air? If he's reasonably certain the dog is the alien, shoot him while he's vulnerable. But as we've discovered, Dr. Jaffe is a brilliant idiot.
Shouldn't be a young boy. Should be an old man. Spent a lifetime watching and listening and unraveling the mysteries of the stars without ever taking part.
Don't!
I'm glad he gets to decide all these things. He decides how much the rest of the world knows. He decides to send Diana out here. He decides who takes the last pyramid. What genius put him in charge of the whole bloody world? He looks like he's getting off on it. If your soul is inside a little box, can you still woohoo if you don't have any... Moving on. Diana goes off by herself and shakes off the hypnosis thanks to Skip knowing her identity. Time for action. So that's what it does. What does it do?
You fools! Don't you know how many have preceded you? Have chased me from galaxy to galaxy through eons of time?
He's decided he'll kill them all. And the bodies they're borrowing, of course.
No one will ever capture me.
That remains to be seen. You see, you didn't get rid of me after all. You slipped up. That's what usually happens at the beginning of the end.
He knows the gun is useless against her, so he'll try something else. He'll turn into that. Tarzan after a night of hard drinking. He growls and waves his arms and makes a lot of noise, but for a long time he doesn't really do anything. At least not until the townspeople get out of the way and it's just him and Wonder Woman. It's boss fight time. See, the sequence to defeat this boss is you grab his arm and wrestle him down. That lowers his shield, and now you can strike. To strike, you kick him through the fence behind him. Wait for him to recover, grab his arm again, rinse, repeat. As usual, you have to defeat the boss 3 times. This game is departing from the usual parameters. This game don't need no stinking parameters. He said nobody could ever catch him, and if he's talking about those 99 zombies standing around watching, he's right. But Wonder Woman isn't an alien zombie. She is 100% pure Earth zombie. That thing is supposed to be a kind of portable holding cell so they can take him back for sentencing. Did they decide to skip the sentencing and just electrocute him right now? No, that was the aliens returning to their little pyramid ships and the people's minds returning to their bodies. Why they had to hold on to the ships to make the first swap, but this one just needs some loud sparking noises, we don't ask.
Everybody's okay, but they don't remember a thing. What are we gonna do?
Well, we're not going to do anything. See, I think it's best that everybody forgets everything, don't you?
Well, sure, but
He gets what that means.
can I still be friends with Diana?
Of course. In fact, you two are going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Really?
Word is that she's going to be on permanent assignment in Los Angeles by the end of the month.
Make a great team, huh?
Her thoughts exactly.
They won't. In 3 seasons, we haven't picked up a single promising thread like that, and we're sure not going to start now. The part about Diana being transferred to LA, yeah, that happened in the 4th season that never was. Diana is back in Washington telling Steve that, just like everybody else, she can't remember anything. He hands her a tape recorder and says, make a report anyway.
You've been recording all this?
Oh, it's my diary. I was better than writing things down where people can see it.
Uh-oh, her lasso can't erase magnetic tape.
Today I found out that Diana Prince is really Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman?
Skip understands the implications of that, too. And Diana understands the implications of what she just discovered. We'll never know what came of it all because the much hoped for 4th season didn't happen. It was a nice spin on the Body Snatchers theme to have them be the good guys trying to hunt down a notorious and dangerous criminal. A much better way to do things would have been to take over one or two people, go to the federal or state authorities, explain yourselves, and ask for volunteers. They already speak English, so that's not a problem. And maybe willing hosts could help you move faster than a three-legged turtle. Which raises another question. What was their plan? How did they plan to get him into that thing, assuming they didn't have Wonder Woman to do it for them? Most of the people they commandeered couldn't beat him at canasta, much less beat him into submission and bring him to it. I suppose Skip's dad could have grounded him, but I'm not sure how effective that'd be. Alas, we shall never know. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.